When the new Nike Phantom Vision 2s dropped a few days ago, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys really wanted a pair. The thing is, however, not everyone will have the money to go and cop that wicked high-end elite model. Thankfully though, Nike has your back and has released both a Pro and an Academy version to make the Vision 2 concept available to you at price points that are maybe a bit more manageable to some people. And today, I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know to hopefully help you decide a bit better which of the boots to go for and buy at unisportstore.com right up there. As per usual for Nike, the Elite boot that costs €280 and weighs 227 grams for those who are interested is the top tier, and where Nike has spent by far the most time and money, not only on development, which is a time-consuming and expensive affair in itself, but of course also in simply using the best and most premium materials available and of course the most innovative technologies that they have. For instance here, on the inside, you can see that they have this 4-way stretch quad fit mesh. It's the white stuff, and what it does is to basically tighten up and hold your foot in place when your foot starts to move inside of the boot to give you a better, more adaptive lockdown. Then of course that is connected to this here sock collar with a pull string to make the boot nice and easy to get on. And on the outside you have a Flyknit outer shell with this stretchy lace cover to ensure you get the most uninterrupted touch on the ball. And then as you can see here on the red part, they have what they call the Nike Hyper Screen technology. Using fancy Nike words, that is a zonal silicone micro texturing with a lot of little sticky grippy dots or windmill shaped forms on the boot to give you the best closest connection on the ball possible, at least with the technologies Nike have right now. Of course, there is a lot more to talk about in the Vision 2 Elite, and if you want to know more, I've done a proper tech deep dive into the boot in my latest tech talk that you can watch later via the link in the description, or if you click the card right up there. But if €280 is a bit too steep for you, and I understand that, the Pro version here is built to give you a lot of the same ideas for almost half the price at €150 with a boot that weighs 240 grams, by the way. Now the idea here is to give you the same concept, the same build idea, but due to the lower price, of course, the materials are cheaper and obviously they aren't as good. With that said, the boot is still relatively nice with the same construction as the Elite. And while you do get an inner mesh sleeve, it's not quad fit anymore, but it's still connected to this circular knit sock. You have a pull string to make the boot nice to get on. And then just like on the Elite model, you have ghost laces, meaning that they are hidden. And that's kind of it behind that technology. Now the outer shell is made with a synthetic here on the forefoot, and then you have a, I wanted to say stretchy mesh lace cover, but it's just a mesh lace cover. But what you do get here on the synthetic outer shell is also a sort of micro texturing. It has the same shape, but it's not as premium as the Elite model, and it's not as sticky, to be quite honest, but it's still, it kind of feels like the same tactile grippy sensation you get from the Elite, just not to the same extent. And for €150, I actually do think it's relatively cool. Now the outsole, it might look similar, it's not, the materials aren't as good, surprise surprise, but what you do get is the same look, you get the same shape on the studs and the same stud configuration. So again, that is actually relatively acceptable for the price. And I do feel it's pretty encouraging that in a world where a lot of takedown models, they use a completely different construction to the high-end model, this is the same concept, just with different and slightly cheaper materials. The last step on the ladder is the Nike Phantom Vision 2 Academy, and while this is just €90, if you ask me, I actually reckon that this is where the value is compared to the Pro version. And I know it sounds a bit daft because clearly it's not as sleek and streamlined that it looks like a worse boot than the Pro is. But the thing is that this is made out of all mesh. So the inner sleeve is basically mesh. It's a slightly worse mesh than on the Pro, but it's a mesh inner sleeve like you see on the Elite. The outer shell here is also made completely out of mesh. On the lace cover here, it's the same slightly stretchy mesh as we see on the Pro, and then the body is actually also mesh, but this time it's been coated with a thin silicone film, meaning that while you don't get the texturing you do get on the Pro and the Elite, the mesh itself actually creates a little bit of texture, giving you that tactile and grippy sensation that you get from the higher end models. And for the money, I actually reckon that is pretty good, because that is what the Vision aims to give you. You of course also get the sock, which feels like a woven neoprene-like execution here. You get the pull string, which is good, and you get the ghost laces, meaning that to the untrained eye and from afar, this could pass as a more expensive model of the Phantom Vision 2. Now what is good here is also that you get the Nike multi-ground outsole, meaning that you can use this on both FG and AG pitches. So yes, while the boot is just okay because of the price and the materials used, I actually reckon that you do get a whole lot of value for money here, because it is relatively soft and comfortable, and while it's clearly not the most premium thing ever, it once again follows the concept of the Phantom Vision 2s. So if the Elite and the Pros are a bit, I would say, unreasonable price-wise, then you can definitely do a whole lot worse than the Academy. Verse. So there you have them, folks. 3 versions of the Nike Phantom Vision 2s from Nike, meaning that no matter if you're ready to go splash the cash for the Elite wickedness, or you'd rather save a bit of money, go for the budget option on the Academy, or somewhere in between with the Pro, well, you can get a lot of value for money here. There's a little bit for everyone. But which is the Phantom Vision 2 for you? Well, as always, you should hit me up in the comment section right down below, and then you can go cop the boot that you actually want via unisportstore.com in the link right up there. What you should do now is to go and learn some wicked football skills in the playlist right over there, but not before you've made sure you've hit the subscribe button with the little bing bell notification button to see all our latest videos the second they drop. And with that said, guys, I'm signing off. Cheerio.